we're off again. That was my last trip. Big cross Dartmoor hike with Buzz. And we did our first leg. We got all the way from Dunsford to Fernworthy Reservoir, which is about 14 mile hike. In fact, we did about 17 miles in total. And we, just as we was about an hour away, the fucking Dartmoor heavens opened. And I have to say, it's some of the worst torrential rain I've ever walked in my life. And I've never been out in Dartmoor when it's had a real go at me. And we decided, unfortunately, because it was gonna carry on probably throughout the weekend, on the Thursday, Friday and the Saturday, we decided to go back home. So we was defeated, we failed. I've got some video footage, not of the rain, because I had to put my camera in a bag and out of the way, because it was going to get wet. But we're going to do it again in a couple of weeks. Anyway, today I am walking to Calstock, which is a hell of a remote place along the Tamar River, out in the sticks. And hopefully when I get there, there'll be someone to meet me, a certain Rohan who I record podcasts with, and also probably the most difficult person to communicate with on the planet. So he knows I'm coming, but whether he'll be ready, aware, awake, we'll find out when we get there. In Calstock, there's a place called Okel Mines, and there's some old mine ruins there. In fact, there's quite a lot of old industry ruins going around the Tamar Valley, Morwell Key, etc. About 14 miles to Calstock, so it's going to be a long trip. That's through Buckland Monacorum, and before that a place called Crapstone, which obviously gets the giggles. The River Tavy, you can see it there. See it behind me. This goes all the way up through to Tavistock into the centre of the moor, and behind me, guess what I got? Giant fuck off hill to get over into the River Tamar Valley, which is behind it. And there are people who live out here. So lucky. I'd love to live out here. Tents. I'm looking for a new 3-man tent, and it needs to be lightweight, durable, it's got to last. Let's just say no budget, okay? £1,000 tents are probably out of the question, but maybe I'll consider it. Oh, there's a pathway there. I'm going to go up the side of the road. Finalists that I've come to, I've got to give 4 tents. First one is the Helm 3, bit heavy, okay? Bit heavy. I've got my pack down to about 12 kilos. I'd like to not really go much heavier than that. So Helm 3 by Wild Countries, Terranova. Another one is any of the Nemo products, 3-man. Some of them come in at about 1.5 kilos. Quite expensive. And then there is the MSR, what's it called? The Mother Hubber, which is a good tent. It weighs about the same as this Wild Country 2-man I've got, about just under 2 kilos. Again, fairly pricey. Anyone who's owns one of these, please let me know if it's any good, if it's durable, and if it's waterproof, which I've read is a bit of a concern. In fact, that's a concern for all the lightweight tents. And any other tent, maybe I should stick a pole out. Anyway, if you're interested in tents and you've got some options for me, 3-man, I need the space when I'm walking the UK. I can't do it in this little 2-man, it'll drive me fucking nuts. So let me know. Somewhere in the distance, in the background, you see the river bends. In around that corner is Calstock, where Rohan is. So it's all getting very real now. My landlord has just called me. He's asking about rent renewal, wants to put the rent up, talking about to get the flat back in a good order for someone else to come and rent. So I told him that I'm likely to be handing my notice in about 4 to 6 weeks. I've got to give him a month's notice. So getting the flat in good order to hand back, that's another mission to do. And it's getting real. So if you're listening this far, no, I mean it. I'm planning to walk the UK. I've got some ideas about raising money for charity as well. And I'm cancelling my tenancy agreement. I will be homeless, effectively. And I'm going to do Darren's non-consent tour of the UK, because that's, in a way, what it's about. It's about me actually not complying and leaving. So, and finding some peace of mind at the same time, because I don't have it at the moment. Mountain bike track. There's loads of mountain bike tracks here. I'm supposed to be walking along them according to OS, but good of them to let us know that we need to use our hand sanitizer out here in the filthy, muddy forest. I nearly never come out. My anxiety is so bad these days that I was like, oh, I can't face walking in the countryside. I can't face camping on my own. And it was the same yesterday. I was meant to come out yesterday, the weather was a little bit better. And then, as always, when I come out, this is where I'm not anxious. This is where I want to be, so that I'm not anxious. Yeah, it's the countryside has that soothing effect. It's the green of all the trees, apparently, the chlorophyll, and the colours, the green colours that chlorophyll makes or exhibits. That has a soothing effect. It's supposed to be really, really good for our mental health. And that's because we're not meant to be in these fucking concrete cities, are we? We're not meant to be all cooped up in cells. And as much as I'm now super anxious at the same time because I want to potentially just give up my flat of 6 years I've been living in that, probably 7 years now. You know, the reality is I might spend the whole summer with bluer skies and warmer weather walking through scenery like this. Yeah, it's worth giving up your home for. So look at that view, how well you can see it. Let's get the old camera out. High up here, I've climbed 2 river valleys. I'm about to go back down one. Over there, you can see the town, that's Gunness Lake. I'm going to travel to Gunness Lake, go across the river, finally get to a bridge, and then I'm going to follow the river all the way back to Calstock, where Rohan has actually acknowledged my email amazingly and should be meeting me there. So, okay, so I'm at Gunness Lake. Gunness Lake's got a giant hill there, but I've already walked up a couple of valleys, and I'm now walked up a couple of hills. I'm now walking along the Tamar River to Calstock, about an hour or so away. This is the old lockkeeper's cottage on Tamar. Would have been probably a very important job back in the day. See what's left of the old rock. You have to excuse me, I'm a bit nervous on heights. Cool, eh? There is a weir further up now that controls the flow of water. That's it. Calstock Church. It's a bad boy, isn't it? It's going to make a great black and white photo. And there are Commonwealth graves here and war memorial graves everywhere. So, and Rohan's just messaged me. So I'm at Calstock and I'm off down to this place called Okel Mines. Yeah, this is camera worthy, definitely, because I was just thinking to myself, oh, I'm not going to find Rohan, it's not going to find me. I've taken a detour, I don't know where I'm going. These mines are a bit shit, ain't they? And then out of the ground, the corner, there he appeared, smoking a blunt, of course. I was just thinking of the face in my direction. Yeah. So there he is. Say hello to the camera, Rohan. There you go, mate. We're at Okel Mines. It used to be a Victorian era mine along the Tamar Valley. Had about 200 people working for it. That's what the sign said that I read a minute ago. And they used to mine arsenic, tin, gold, all sorts of metals. And it was the biggest economic place in Calstock, wasn't it? It was where everybody worked, the whole village was. He said they used to mine here and then go down Calstock for a beer and a bit of the old slap. Anyway, I don't know if you can see it. I've just been inside that one over there. It's like a separating system. There's a... you can't really walked on a bit. I will keep going. But anyway, I think this is used for separating all the different ores and stuff. And there's quite a big building there, look. Yeah. That's quite good. Can we get inside that, Rohan? Oh, we can. Yeah, let's go. Let's get Rohan on camera. So, Rohan, what do you think of me walking from Yelverton to Calstock via Gunners Lake over the Tavy and Tamar Valleys?
You're a very brave man. That's quite a trip.
Yeah, I did it in about 5.5 hours as well.
Very good.
I would have done it much quicker if I didn't have to keep taking this fucking phone out.
And you've got a big backpack as well.
Yeah, man. I'm a walking machine. Walking machine, Rohan. And that's why I'm thinking about doing it. Oh, look. I expect that's dangerous. So,
well,
and it's
technically trespassing, so maybe not.
Oh, right, yeah, I did see that. So some of these buildings along here like this,
it is privately owned.
Have been converted into houses.
As long as you don't lick it, it's fine.
So these are Okel Mines ruins. We're going to see some more buildings in a sec. That is leftovers, arsenic, tin, some other copper, probably some heavy metals in there. This doesn't look very good, does it? It's disgusting. Looks like a furnace. Did you say a furnace, did you?
Yeah, I think that would be the furnace house, and then
yeah, no, there is
and
a
then
top
they
of it.
separate like the
Yeah,
clean,
they melt
they clean
it.
out the slag and stuff. In the
Yeah. So that looks like a furnace there. Look. And there's a big chimney down here. All our best conversations that me and Rohan have just had over the last half an hour haven't been on camera. If we'd recorded it, it would have been a good podcast, right? Talking about how I'm rotting away in a room, watching the world on the computer screen when I could go and see it myself. And the world that I'm told that we live in on the computer screen doesn't actually manifest itself when I go outside. I see a few trannies and a few really, really fat people. And I see surveillance cameras. And I see poverty. But I don't see it, it's not quite as insane as it's made out to be on social media. That's the reality of it. And if you just stared at social media all the time, you'd never fucking go outside, would you? And I find that running away when I could be going to have a look around this mine. Think about me going on walkabout.
I think it's a good decision.
You think it's a good decision?
Yeah, I mean, shit, the world's toxic. I mean, why not just escape it a bit and walk around? I mean, because as you say, like, it's only really the cities and stuff where things are so tainted. I mean, if you leave the internet, you leave the cities, it's a beautiful world out there.
Yeah, I think it's a 4-month holiday on the roads, and maybe raise some money for charity if someone's interested in sponsoring me to get to, or helping me raise money for a good cause to get to fucking Scotland. I have got a plan in mind. And other than that, it'd be like a 4-month holiday, get blisters.
Yeah, excellent.
Yeah, because I got fucking blisters.
To living in a place like this.
Yeah, I would love to live out here, Rohan. Maybe I wouldn't want to escape, but I live on Mutley Plain.
Yeah.
And Mutley Plain being right in the centre of Plymouth, which is the biggest city in the southwest.
I definitely want to escape if I lived in that.
Yeah. Well, it was always all right. It was good when it was just pubs and clubs, but now about every other person is black. Every other fucking person. You know, it's like, where did they all just come from? You know, it's not that I haven't just noticed it. It's just all of a sudden it's like doubled up or tripled up. And this is the countryside is racist segment.
Yeah. If it's the Nigerian Christians, they're at least kind of benign. But if you don't want them Somalis.
I've got Eritreans living in my house and I love them to bits and they're Christian. And they're good guys. And they're good guys.
The really, really Christian Africans tend to be honest.
I'm not saying anything about these people. It's just like, where did you all come from? You weren't, even 2 years ago it wasn't like this, and now it's fucking everywhere. And so, and because I live in Mutley Plain, which is right in the centre of the city, I need to get out. So I'm going walk about. So I've just given Rohan some that's spicy one. That's pemmican, which is what I've eaten today. That's the spicy one. It's alright, isn't it? Yeah.
It really doesn't taste like you're eating just like pounded beef and fat.
And that one, you're in luck, mate. That's my chocolate protein bar one, and it's got coconut oil in there and like nuts and all that. Now that shit's like good.
Oh wow. Yeah, the chocolate protein stuff is like a brownie.
It's like a brownie, isn't it? Yeah.
That's crazy.
That shit's crazy. So that chocolate one's going to be my go-to walking food. I just had a cup of tea at Rohan's, which was all very civil, very English, just like Calstock, this little village. And I have decided not to camp. I did find one spot that I could have, and would have been alright for the night, but it was a little bit muddy, and I'm like, fuck, even though I'm muddy anyway. And I decided I'd just come home. I got shit to do now. My mind's made up, and I'm going to walk about for 4 months. That's my plan. Hey, Calstock train station. It's in the middle of fucking nowhere.